Hello everybody, here's what's coming up tonight on News Center Now. Miranda Hopkins, the woman from Maine who was convicted of killing her 7-week-old baby, she was sentenced today. We'll have the story for you.
And if you have a four-legged friend, you definitely chose to live in the right state. We'll tell you why.
And there's a 6-year-old boy who's making millions of dollars and has tens of millions of friends. We'll tell you about that.
This is News Center Now.
A mother is held responsible for the death of her newborn son. She'll be spending more than a decade behind bars. And
you want to go get it? Get it.
If you're a pet owner in Maine, you're doing it right. Why Maine is the best state to have a furry friend. Good evening, everybody. I'm Christina Rex.
And I'm Lee Goldberg. A woman in Waldo County will spend the next several years in jail, convicted of manslaughter for the death of her 7-week-old son.
That sentence was handed down to Miranda Hopkins of Troy. News Center's Tennyson Coleman was in Belfast today, where Hopkins appeared in court for her sentencing. He's here with the latest. Hey, Tennyson.
Hey, Christina. There was a lot that went into this decision. Some of the factors that did not help Hopkins' case include the fact that she never accepted responsibility for the crime and the role drugs and alcohol played in it. Yet she has a history of volunteer work and has no previous criminal record. The judge said this sentencing was challenging. An apologetic Miranda Hopkins learned her fate Wednesday after being found guilty of manslaughter in the death of her 7-week-old son Jackson. The 32-year-old mother from Troy originally blamed her son's death on one of her 2 children with autism before admitting she was so drunk she did not remember what happened.
It would be a sentence of 18 years with all but 13 years suspended this time.
Hopkins is visibly shaken after finding out she will spend 13 years behind bars, followed by 4 years of probation. It's a sentence that prosecutors are pleased with.
It really reflects how these injuries to Jackson were inflicted and the catastrophic nature of the injuries that he sustained.
In the courtroom, family and friends vouched for Hopkins.
She's always thought about other people more than herself. She's a great person, my best friend.
Asking the judge to be gracious.
I would like to ask for the shortest possible sentence. Our life won't be complete until we get her back in our arms.
Hopkins' attorney, Chris McLean, says she was pleasant to work with and calls the judge's sentence heavy but fair.
We're disappointed, but we respect the process and respect the outcome. She's obviously sad. She was crying a little bit, as anyone could imagine she would be at this point.
After court, Hopkins and her family did not want to speak to us.
How do y'all feel about the sentencing today?
No.
During the sentencing, Hopkins' defense attorney asked the judge to allow her to see her family for Christmas instead of going straight to prison, saying her father is ill. Well, while she's out, the judge granted that request, and while she's out, she will be on house arrest. Guys.
All right, Tennyson, thanks so much. All right, transitioning to weather. If you haven't shoveled, scraped out already, you might want to get on that.
Yeah, it's like Arundel out there, Keith. I mean, I want this cold. We need to let it go.
He still doesn't get it.
No, I get it. Frozen.
He had to Google it.
K-Rex really enjoyed her time, Storm Center time, yesterday out in Gorham. It was nice.
It was, yeah, pleasant, I would
say. A little
icy.
Still some snow from that same system over Aroostook County. That's the last of it, though. This next clipper, although it looks relatively ominous, will sail to our south with just the snow shower possible over extreme southern Maine tomorrow. Temperatures, though, are falling off a cliff. Look at this, 9 in Berlin already, 11 in Weld, 8 in Greenville, and we have so many more hours to drop down, about 12 more hours before we reach our overnight low. It's going to be very cold, 20 in Portland, 20 in Rockland, 22 in Bar Harbor. And our overnight lows are forecast to be below 0 in spots, single digits widespread, and maybe low teens in a place like Portland, Rockland, and Bar Harbor. This is why I brought this up yesterday during the storm, that you should clear as much as you can because it's not going anywhere. It's only going to get colder, it gets hard, frozen, and you really can't move it after that. Hour by hour forecast is mainly the temperatures that we're talking about tonight. Tomorrow is a partly cloudy day. A couple of snow showers over southern Maine can't be ruled out. Believe it or not, Friday's even colder. We'll talk about that and our next storm system in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Keith. Some news we're looking into today. State police, they're looking into the death of a toddler in Wiscasset. A public safety spokesperson says Kendall Chick was taken to the hospital last Friday, but died soon after arriving. Kendall lived with her grandfather and his fiance. She had just turned 4 years old.
Now, it seems like a generous way to get into the holiday spirit, but the Better Business Bureau says it's not. It's a huge scam, so watch out. The Secret Santa Sister Gift Exchange is a pyramid scheme, according to the Watchdog site. And if the post asked you to share your address in the comments, it could put you at risk. If you see this post, the Better Business Bureau recommends that you report it immediately to Facebook. Dog parks, shelters, and space to roam. They all make Maine the perfect place to own a pet. That's according to a new study. We'll break it down right after the break.
And flat earthers are still a thing, even though they probably shouldn't be. Can't believe I'm saying this, but Keith explains why the earth is round later on now.
Pet owners, take pause.
Get it?
Turns out you're living in the perfect state.
The security company Safewise released its top 10 pet-friendly states, and Maine, #1 on the list. So what makes our state so great for our four-legged friends?
Summer or winter, Maine has no shortage of outdoor activities for people and their furry friends. According to Safewise, the Pine Tree State has 76 dog-friendly beaches and nearly 1,000 pet-friendly hotels.
Sorry.
Thank you. That's why Maine topped the list for pet-friendly states.
I've never really thought much about it, so it's nice to see.
Frank Billings owns Happy Tails, a doggy daycare and kennel, and says that since opening in 2003, he's seen no shortage of four-legged clients.
And you always see a lot of dogs coming up into, Maine, New England from the south or the Midwest, rescue dogs coming in. So you know that it's very dog friendly up here.
With an abundance of dog parks, mountains, and hiking trails, Billings says keeping your puppies busy in the winter is a walk in the park.
Take your dog if you go cross-country skiing or snowshoeing or things like that.
You want to go get it? Get it.
If the outdoors aren't for you and your pup,
Allagash and those type of breweries allow dogs. And, there are restaurants in town where you can sit on the patio with your dogs.
While Maine did secure the #1 spot, it didn't receive a perfect score. The list noted that Maine still has a large percentage of shelters that euthanize dogs because of overcrowding.
But I think if that message was out there that, local dogs do face euthanasia.
Billings wants Mainers to realize how many pets in our state need their help before they adopt from out of state.
It's great to help people in other parts of the country, but we also need to, focus on what's here.
So there are 136 animal shelters in Maine alone, and we also have some helpful no ticks for the dogs, tips and tricks on our website for if you're looking to adopt in the holiday season to make sure you're doing it right.
So are you a dog person, cat person?
I'm an everything person. I personally own a cat, mainly because I don't have time to take care of a dog.
Well, if you'd like, for a small fee, you can come to my house.
And babysit them, dog sit
4 dogs, 5 cats.
And other creatures as well, right?
Those are just the kids.
No, don't you have something else too?
Oh, yeah, we have a hamster and a fish.
Okay, good. All right. Okay.
The Wreaths Across America convoy is a long way from Maine. They are almost to their destination, driving through New Jersey today. This is a bit of Samantha York's Facebook Live from this morning. She and Zach Blanchard are traveling with the convoy this year to bring you guys the most coverage from this very moving experience.
And a lot of you are sending love and well wishes to the volunteers, veterans, and Gold Star families making the journey to Arlington National Cemetery. Keep commenting and follow Zach and Sam on social media for all the pictures and videos from the road.
And as always, you can check out our websites and mobile apps for the most complete coverage. Our apps are free and available for download from any app store, making it really easy. Okay, so this kid makes a killing playing with new toys.
Welcome to Ryan Toy Review.
He's not even 7, but he's making that many figures. How this YouTube star is making the internet extremely jealous.
And we slip into the single digits. Keith has his full forecast and an extended brain drops when we come back.
All right, there are some pretty ridiculous conspiracies out there. We all know that Keith's favorite pastime is to debunk each and every one of them.
Well, today he takes on a theory you may not realize even still exists. Not only is the flat earther movement still around, but some very prominent people are believers.
Today, I'd like to talk about flat earthers, the only people who slept through more 8th grade science class than chemtrailers. I know what you're thinking, Keith, please don't even give these people the time of day. But I'm going to, and I'll explain why in a minute. Unfortunately, the flat earther movement has picked up steam lately thanks to a few high-profile endorsements from people like Kyrie Irving, Shaq, and the rapper B.O.B. All, of course, giants in the scientific community. And I assume for a while, like many people do, these people are just trolling. There's no way they actually believe the Earth is flat. But it just so happens to be the first FAQ on the website of the Flat Earth Society. It reads, I quote, "This site is not a joke. We're actively promoting the Flat Earth movement worldwide." At the core of the Flat Earther movement is the disconnect between personal daily experience and the overall reality. They observe a flat Earth day to day, therefore, that must be the truth. But much like online dating, sometimes you have to realize what you see with your eyes may not be the final and absolute truth of the matter. So let's knock this thing down in a few short minutes. An obvious place to start might be, I don't know, all the pictures we have of our oblate spheroid Earth. That's technically the shape of the Earth, since it's not perfectly round. Like, here's a good one. And this one here's nice too. And don't forget this live view from the International Space Station you can pull up at any time. The response from flat earthers on all of this? Hoax. But not a malicious hoax, apparently, which is nice, I guess. Again, quoting from their website, there is no flat Earth conspiracy. NASA is not hiding the shape of the Earth from anyone. There is a space travel conspiracy. The purpose of NASA is to fake the concept of space travel to further America's militaristic dominance of space. They conclude, and I quote, "The Earth is portrayed as round in NASA media because NASA thinks that it's round." Poor NASA, always so clueless. Let's move on to how day and night might be possible on this flat Earth. Here's what they've come up with. The sun is a spotlight that rotates around like so. When you're under the sun, it's day. When you're under the moon, it's night, which is cool, except you'd never see the moon during the day, daylight hours would never change, and most importantly, you'd always see the sun even during the night. Think about it. If the Earth is flat, what prevents you from seeing the spotlight sun at all times, even when you're in the dark? It's like being in the audience at a theater while the stage is spotlighted. You're in the dark, but you can still see the spotlight. All right, what about the seasons? Here's their model for that. The sun magically changes its path for the seasons, growing closer to the northern half, not hemisphere, remember, half, during our summer and farther away during our winter. Which is clever, except of course, Alaska would never have continuous months of day and night. All of Australia would be in the dark most of the year, and the sun would have to move twice as fast during the southern hemisphere summer in order to make up the doubling of circumference of the path. So, next time you go to Argentina, let me know if the sun moves twice as fast. I've been there, spoiler alert, it does not. Of course, there are hundreds of other problems with the flat Earth theory, like an increase in elevation wouldn't allow you to see farther on a plane with no obstructions if the Earth were flat. But it does, because it's round. And since the force of gravity is directed towards the center of mass, you would be pulled sideways if you were anywhere but the center of a flat plane Earth. And my personal favorite, weather satellites. You know the pictures from space I used to help predict the weather? You'll see a round planet and the exact cloud cover you observe over your head plotted on that planet in real time. So, why even disprove a movement that has not a single legit scientist behind it? Quite simply, because they're actually raising money for this. B.O.B. is currently trying to raise $1 million for flat Earth research, and Mad Mike Hughes has raised thousands of dollars to launch a homemade rocket in the effort to take a picture of what he believes will be a flat Earth. Tens of thousands of dollars, all going to absolute garbage, when it could be used for something worthwhile, like cancer research or feeding hungry people. So do me a favor, flat Earthers, and get a new hobby. Or, if you're still convinced, find the edge of the Earth, lean backwards, and prove to me that gravity is just another big lie.
Okay, so my only problem with all of that is I don't get a true sense of how you really feel.
Right, I think it's probably unclear. I was just telling you guys that some flat earther website must have shared my Facebook post of this video because now they're all jumping on the page, which is what I want.
And you're loving it.
Which is what I want.
But
I can't believe we're talking about this in
question.
2017.
Wait, I have a question though.
Yes.
So it's obvious as to why you wanted to debunk this, but what makes you think you can convince someone who believes the Earth is flat that it's not?
I don't think you can. I think they're in the same. They're in the same category as, like I said, chemtrailers or people who just think everything is a conspiracy. But I think it's worth pointing out the really easy, obvious flaws beyond what everybody else has tried to talk about. You know, oh, we have pictures. Sure, does the sun move twice as fast? How come you can't see it at night? Just things that, like, on the top of my head, I said, this makes no sense at all.
Can't wait till you get your next big idea.
Yeah.
Me either.
I can't believe they have to listen to 3 more minutes.
I know, we got him for 5 minutes, now here he is for 3 more to talk about the weather.
I apologize for that,
Let's give
Maine.
him a wrap.
I apologize. I wanted to show you this, and it's not to brag. This was our snowfall map. This is what actually happened. The point I wanted to make about yesterday's storm is even though the snowfall amounts were dead on, I think there is no question the amount of freezing rain that occurred was underestimated, not only by us, but all forecasters. And it made such a huge, sensible difference in the storm. It was a lot messier yesterday and last night than anticipated. All right, there's the last of the storm moving out over Aroostook County. Another clipper back here over the Great Lakes, as I mentioned. This actually looks pretty juicy, but it's going to be just to our south, down across Connecticut, New York, and maybe parts of Rhode Island. We won't have to deal with that. The big story for us the next couple of days is the cold, and it will be very cold. Forecast lows below 0 in Berlin. Greenville I could see between 0 and 2. Even along the coastline, we're straggling ourselves in the low teens and single digits inland, and it will be even colder on Friday night. Hour by hour forecast, partly cloudy tomorrow. An isolated snow shower can't be ruled out over southern Maine tomorrow afternoon, but I think for the most part we're fine. Temperatures, though, only get into the 20s even in the middle of the day, in teens and single digits in the mountains. So again, this is kind of at the peak of the sunshine, and we're still not making a dent, which sets us up for a really cold night on Friday. Friday's even colder. Temperatures well below 0 inland and right around 3, 4, 5 degrees along the coastline. Then our next system moves in. It's just a few snow showers on Saturday, not a huge deal. Just be aware you could see a couple of them. After that, we're watching a storm for Tuesday, which obviously is quite a bit in advance. At the moment, it looks like it's going to be relatively progressive, fast-moving, and would feature a mixture of snow and rain. That being said, we obviously saw what happened with the last storm where it was looking cold, trending warm, ended up somewhere in between. So we'll nail down the details as we get closer, but we will be coming off a very cold period at this point, and I would anticipate we'll see at least some snow in the mountains and inland locations on Monday night before that moves out, and more snow showers and cold weather for Tuesday and Wednesday. So winter has set in a very strong way here over the next 7 days. So that's how it's looking, guys. The weekend's okay. Snow showers on Saturday, partly cloudy on Sunday. Again, we're watching Tuesday. There's no way to really say at this point, you know, how that storm will play out. I'll take anything over freezing rain for the most part. It is.
I also will take anything over freezing
that's
rain
kind of the
after
worst.
yesterday.
You were enjoying yourself. You were.
No, that was good.
It's fine. I'm actually glad. I think the roads could have been worse considering.
That's fair.
Okay,
what was going on.
Before I let you go,
yes.
Are weathermen real? Just wondering. Green screeners.
Yeah,
So that could be nice.
a new conspiracy
there you
theory.
go.
I like that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
All right, guys, if you've ever thought about becoming a YouTube personality, let me just join you in your endeavors because this next story will make you so green with envy. Can you tell I'm over it? So Forbes came out with their annual list of the highest paid YouTube stars, and they say combined, the world's top 10 stars earned, get this, $127 million between June of last year and June of this year. But there's one person on that list in particular that is just light years ahead of all of us at the ripe age of 6 years old. This is Ryan, who goes by Ryan Toys Review on YouTube. With 8 billion views in a year, Ryan raked in $11 million in advertising revenue. I can't even say that with a straight face. So what's his secret? What are his videos? Well, I regret to inform you guys, this kid is literally just opening boxes of toys and playing with them. Ryan has more than 10 million subscribers. He's got sponsors like the Power Rangers sending him toys for reviews. He's got Kevin Durant doing live streams on YouTube with him. This kid is a genius, and the fact that he's too adorable for words is working in his favor. So you guys, this actually pains me because we record ourselves every single day on Snapchat, on, you know, Twitter, on Instagram, and none of us thought to think, hey, maybe we can make some money off of this.
New segment where I open toys right here on the anchor desk.
Where I open my box of fries every day.
I tell you, my kids are in on this Ryan thing. I've watched him for years now, opening up these toys. I couldn't believe it was a thing, and it's a thing.
I still can't believe so you are one of the enablers.
Yeah, it's our fault. All right, thank you. It is that time of year we turn all of our friends and our family and our coworkers into little dancing elves.
Of course. This year, not only can you make your friends do the splits and sing carols, but you can place them anywhere in the world. Office Depot's Elf Yourself features augmented reality this year. All you have to do is point your smartphone and upload some photos. And if you log onto our Facebook Live during the next commercial break, you can see the Now team dancing as elves.
It's so good.
It's so good. Make sure you join us on Facebook.
News Center 530 also so good. Cindy Williams here now with a preview. Hey, Cindy.
Hi, guys. There's news out of Washington today. Republicans in Congress say that they have managed to combine those two massive tax plans into one big overhaul of the U.S. tax code. But they are moot on what exactly is in it and whether they think they really do have the votes to get it passed. We're going to have the latest from Washington on that. And could you be owed some money and not even know it? Wouldn't that be a nice little Christmas present? Well, the Maine Treasury says, you know, you could. We'll show you how to claim it or even find out if it exists for you. That's coming up at 5:30. Back to you.
Awesome, Cindy. Thanks. Now we'll be right back.
Okay, so for those of you lucky enough to have logged on to our Facebook Live feed during that last commercial break to see the unbelievable, unprecedented world premiere of our Dancing Elf video, we've got some tremendous comments here. What a blast. Love it. Awesome. Well worth the watch. 10 out of 10. I would totally watch that again. You are the best news crew ever. And just so much love for that hard work video that we put up.
Yes.
Go to our Facebook page now. Liam, did we post a link to that? We posted a link there, so if you missed it, go to our Facebook page. You can watch it now.
Right, or after the show, the video will still be there.
It will be worth your time, I promise.
Right, but unrelated. Remember when MoviePass was all the rage? Now the theater subscription service has teamed up with Costco and Fandor. The offer is a special one-year plan for $89.99 to give access to Fandor's library and MoviePass's theater plan, which normally costs $9.95 a month. The deal's available online only until December 18th, and there are a lot of highly anticipated movies coming out this month. Star Wars.
All right, go watch that video on our Facebook page and go watch News Center at 5:30 because it starts
right now.
Right now.